Hey everybody, it's Christine, and today I've got a new layout for Simple Stories using the School Life collection, which is brand new. And as always, I am just drawn to those tags. And so I have pulled out the tag paper, and I'm going to be creating a layout that showcases pictures of my oldest son's first days of school from PK through 6th grade. And so it will be 8 pictures total, and I'm going to be using each of the tags to showcase a different picture, as well as using the tags as a backdrop for my title. So the tags are going to be a really big part of the design today. In all, I'm going to have hold on, let me think real quick. 12 tags. I didn't want to say the wrong number. I'm going to use 12. And I'm going to layer them kind of interesting, which you're going to see in just a moment here. But I did pick and choose from the sheet, which ones I wanted to use versus which ones I didn't want to use. So that is an important thing to note, just because my base is the cork board. And so I didn't want the, tag to get lost with the coloring. So like if it was an orange shade or a light brown, it wasn't going to work real well. So now the next thing to note is that I did print all of my pictures in black and white. And I did this so that the coloring would coordinate across the board. I also like that it kind of mimics the look of a yearbook, at least what I think of when I think of a yearbook. I have no idea what they're like anymore. My kids have been homeschooled for the last almost 5 years, so I have no idea. But I did have all of these pictures from his first day of school, and yes, I have scrapbooked many of them individually, but not all of them. So I thought this would be a great way, now that he's entering his senior year, to be able to make sure I've at least covered all of the first day of school when he was at this school. So we had this school with our church when we lived in Illinois, and then we moved to Ohio, and there wasn't a Lutheran school nearby. So we switched from Lutheran schooling to homeschooling, and thus the transition from traditional first day of school photos to, oh, we should take a picture because it's the beginning of the school year technically. Things got a lot looser. So got on a little tangent there, but just to kind of give you a little bit of our history and why you won't see me doing this for all the other kids. This, again, checks some boxes that I needed to have done for this guy as he gets ready to enter his senior year. So, second thing I'm going to do is I am going to take these tags and I am going to overlap them in just a little bit, and I am going to create vertical rows with them. So there'll be 4 vertical rows going across the layout, and you can see kind of the look that I'm going for. So one thing this layout definitely required was some precision, because I needed my rows to be straight, even, etc. So there was not room to just like slap it on there. This was definitely thought out and very intentional. And you can see how slow I'm even moving at 2 times the speed. So that tells you I was definitely moving very slowly and being very careful. So where I chose to overlap the tags is at the top of the color part. So you can see, which I just pointed to it. I don't even know why I pointed there, but I did. Perfect timing to the top line where the color starts. And that's where I overlapped it. Worked perfectly for all of them. Even though it overlaps the other picture a smidge, it does not overlap his face at all. So it doesn't hide anything. And it just ended up being a really fun and unique design element in all. I didn't really know as I started this. I knew I was going to use the tags. I knew I was going to lay them out somewhat in a grid form, but I didn't know exactly how that was going to shake out. And I gotta say, I just love how this one came together. Now, it's funny because there are so many collections from Simple Stories that I just end up working with. I'm not sure where I'm going, how it's going to work out, and then I end up just loving what I do with them. And that is why they're just one of my favorites, because I consistently can make stuff with their stuff that I love. And we all have layouts that we like and we're satisfied with, but when you can create something that you love consistently with a company, that is a great thing. All that said, the good news is, for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you don't know this already, but I am beginning my second design team term with them. Officially, it begins on April 1st. But since I was already on their team, I'm just basically continuing. So that is super great because holy moly, I love their stuff. And so I am really glad to be continuing with them, and that they love my work with their stuff enough to want me to continue with them is a real joy and privilege. So that is awesome. And so you have got lots more Simple Stories coming your way over the next year. If you're a big Simple Stories fan, I do want to point out to you, I have a Simple Stories playlist that has over 45 videos in it. So even if you have older collections, I have videos for it. I have made so many videos using their stuff, and I will link you to that at the very end of this video so you can check it out. But just an FYI for you, if you're ever working with Simple Stories and looking for some fresh ideas, I really try to take their papers and do something clever with them. So hopefully you can get something out of that. Now, some of you may have already watched pretty much all of them anyway. But just a note for you if you haven't, or if you're newer here, etc. I also mentioned I do have social media. I have Facebook and Instagram. You can find me under Scrapping with Christine on both of those. If you aren't already on there with me, I'd love to have you join me. It's fun to be able to interact there as well. So, and sometimes you don't get the greatest final long-lasting view of the layout on here. Sometimes it's nice to be able to just see the end shot and focus on that. So that's something that happens there as well. So you can see now that I am securing all of these vertical rows on there, and you can also see that I have left the middle row open. Now, one thing to note on these tags is that they have two different colored backgrounds. That whitish part, some of them are a true white and some of them are a slightly off white. I wouldn't say that they're cream, more of a grayish off-white. It's really hard to describe, but there's two tones going on there. And so that's worth noting. I don't even know. My center ones might all be the same tone. If they're not, you can see that it's close enough that it really doesn't matter. But you do want to note that if you were looking, to put a bunch of white, all white, true white, or whatever, that they have that. I actually really like that feature because it just puts some subtle detail into things. So I'm getting these lined up. You can see I'm using my T-roller and making sure I've got those lines nice and straight. And you can see how nicely the pictures really pop on that. Now, it's funny. I could see the gradual improvement in my photography options through the years on this, because the one of him in pre-K was from 2008. And you can definitely see, I only took a few pictures. There weren't really any great options. I don't even have one where he's totally looking at the camera. So I just picked one that would work. And then it just progressively gets better as time goes on, advancing from a traditional camera to a DSLR camera to some with just my phone. And so lots of different... It was kind of interesting to look at just the progression in that respect. Now, another thing that I want you to note is right now I am using a new product to Simple Stories, and you've seen me use them in other very recent videos. These are called page pieces, and what these are they are a smaller set of ephemera, and they are a mixture of words and icons, but you can see how big the scale is on this title. That is why I picked this one. There are other options in the stickers, in the foam stickers, in the chipboard, in the ephemera. There's lots of other options for the title, but I loved the size of this one, and the way the size popped on this layout was just perfect. Part of what I like about it is that it covers the entire middle and extends just a smidge into the first tag row and the last tag row. So it's just a really nice overlap size-wise, where it really brings everything together. So definitely worth checking those out. Smaller scale, if you're a person who really likes to use things up, definitely a good option on that, because it won't be hard to use up this whole set of page pieces. Now, the next thing that I'm doing is taking a piece of a ruler. This was one of the patterned papers, and I just cut one down. I debated back and forth which color to use. There was red, there's yellow, there's green, there's blue. There was lots of options. In the end, I felt like red was going to pop the best. And so I am going to add 2 red ones. This was a little easier said than done, getting it on there straight, getting it to overlap on both sides just the same amount, deciding which numbers you want to show. There was a lot of little considerations that went into adding that ruler. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is decorate around this title. And really what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this up with stars and enamel dots. I don't want anything too complicated. You can't have anything too complicated on an 8-picture layout. It will just be overwhelming. So stars are always a nice, simple addition, and there are multiple colors of them available throughout this collection in all different forms of media, from the ephemera to the stickers, etc. So you've got lots of options. And by ephemera, I mean bits and pieces. It's titled officially Bits and Pieces, so just in case you're not clear on which one that is. So adding those on, and I'm going to add enamel dots, and I'm going to use the same color enamel dots on this part. I opted for the navy blue ones at this point because I felt like it complemented the school title well. And I'm just going to scatter those throughout across my title on both sides. You'll also note that I did pop up some of my stars and other ones I left flat. Again, just looking at them and saying, okay, this one needs to be popped up, this one doesn't, etc. My final step is going to be to decorate 3 of the tags. And what I'm looking to do here really is to help with the movement on the layout. It's a little bit stuck right now. And so I'm going to put a word or a tab or something alongside 3 of these in kind of a triangle shape to make the eye move all the way from that top left-hand side down to the right-hand side, back over to the left bottom and back up, and just help everything move along. So I've got options here. What I'm going to end up doing is using a combination of puffy stickers and regular stickers, cardstock and the sticker book, just to again create a little bit of a cluster around each one. You can get a good look at this both on the Simple Stories website as well as in my final shots at the end. So there you have it, a really pretty simple, straightforward idea on capturing a whole bunch of school layout or school photos into one layout and using them to create a collage style layout that tells the story that spans over a big period of time. Very fun, very easy to do thanks to all these pre-made tags, and just a fun collection. Definitely encourage you to check it out. Will work great for any age for school stuff, and I am looking forward to playing more with this and putting it into some homeschool layouts. Sorry if you could hear that beeping. I'm recording this in my car while I'm waiting for someone, and a bug just started flying around, and so I had to open my door and etc. The life of a mom who's a YouTuber is always exciting. So, all that said, thank you so much for being here today. I'd love to have you as a subscriber if you aren't already one. And leave me a comment down below if you are making some plans in your head already on how you're going to use this awesome collection, I'd love to hear about it, and I would definitely love to see it too. Please shoot me a message and share your layouts. It's always fun to see what you guys are up to. Have a great day, and we will see you again next time.